What exactly is the objective of the day one? The objective of the day one is just like to discuss about some basics. Let me know if in case I'm not audible or if in case my screen is not visible during the middle of the session. Okay, guys, can you hear me?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, the exact objective of the day one is like just to discuss about some basics and to know more about or to know little about what exactly the difference between the DevOps and Azure DevOps, and to know little about the history of the DevOps, like Azure DevOps portal, and what exactly the difference between Azure and Azure DevOps, and the different ways available in Azure to create a DevOps account for the Azure DevOps. Other than this, we're going to discuss about what are the kind of different uses we have in the Azure DevOps portal with respect to organization and with respect to project structure. Apart from this, we have something to discuss about the Azure exclusively related to Azure DevOps portal basically, and that the content is related to the licenses concept. And all these topics are I'm just introducing today. Don't worry, this is not the final class about these topics, and we are going to discuss about each and every topic on daily classes in a little bit more depth actually. All of you clear about the agenda today? I mean, the reason why
Yes.
I'm asking about are you clear or not is if you are not clear, by end of the session you can ask the questions basically. But in between, I just wanted you to be briefed about the same. That's it. So as there are a couple of members didn't join the demo too, so I'm just going to the demo two concepts once again for a brief. So as you know, like DevOps is a process, or DevOps is a technology, or DevOps is a culture. The first question when you want to be part of a DevOps team, you should know that DevOps is a culture, and DevOps is not a process, and DevOps is not a technology. Then, if the DevOps is the culture, how exactly you are going to implement this culture to be adopted by a project? The project can be development team, the project can be automation team, the project can be administration team. But how exactly you are going to adopt the culture of the DevOps? So if someone asks you, please answer them like DevOps is a culture. Then the next question would be like, how exactly you're going to implement it, or what exactly the parameters, or what exactly the specifications that you need to understand, that you need to have an idea about implementing the DevOps culture basically. Okay, and we're going to answer all the questions in the coming session, coming PPTs actually. So before that, I just wanted you to be aware these kind of basic funda about the DevOps basically. So we had a buzzword like in the market like DevOps can be referred as development plus operations team. That means a DevOps team will have a set of people from the development background, will have a set of people from operations background, right? So does it mean that if we have 5 members of DevOps developers and 5 members of operations team, can we call as a DevOps team? No, not at all. The reason is developers and operation team members are the persons who working on the DevOps ecosystem that is built for the project. But someone should be there, some kind of parameters or some kind of person should be there to drive this DevOps culture. Some person should be there to ensure DevOps culture is being followed by the development project or the operations project or the automation or whatever the project category it is. We should have some persons driving the force to ensure the DevOps culture is being followed and the DevOps standards, DevOps protocols, process, and everything is being followed in the project. So when you want to be part of a DevOps team, it's not enough. It doesn't at all enough to be either on the developer role or in the operation team role. Basically, we have some members which are specially designed, or we have some members which are specially to be part of the project to drive the DevOps culture in the same project basically. And what exactly are the roles, or what exactly are the different kind of funda that you need to be aware or at least known to be part of a DevOps team? And those details will be discussed in the coming sessions. So why do we need to have a developer in the DevOps team? And why do we need to have an operations team member in the DevOps team? Okay, please follow on the channel. We'll discuss about the more in detail about all these parameters. And in this session, I'm just briefing you about the individual and important topics or parameters of the content. So we discussed like to be part of a DevOps team, we need some person from the, we need some persons to drive the DevOps culture in the project, right? Then if you want to say some project is DevOps compliant, if you want to say some project is following the DevOps culture, then obviously a set of parameters should be compliant and should be met with the some standards of the culture which is defined for the DevOps. That is fine. But what exactly are the roles, or what exactly are the responsibilities of a project, or what exactly are the parameters to be met when we want to say a project is a DevOps compliant, or when a project is adopting DevOps culture, or a project is adopted the DevOps culture. So the basic responsibilities of a DevOps cultured adopted product is, in DevOps project, we are going to have, as I told you, like we are going to have a couple of members part of the project to drive the DevOps culture with the project, right? So project management is an activity, and the resource planning is an activity. The basic objective or the basic benefit for using the DevOps culture is execution of the project objectives without any deviation and with accurate or absolute planning sometimes as well. Okay, so when somebody asks you what exactly are the benefits in the DevOps culture for the project is, you can say like planning and delivery. That's it. The planning can be on the resource wise, the planning can be on the project wise. Okay, you're saying like DevOps is a culture and DevOps is not a technology, or DevOps is not a tool. In this case, how are you going to planning the resources? How are you going to planning the efforts? How are you going to planning the achievements to get? And how are you going to plan the users or stakeholders or the owners, or can be anything? So all these parameters and all these expectations and all these specifications will be achieved by implementing the DevOps culture. And as I told you, DevOps is not a culture, and DevOps is not a process, and DevOps is a culture. But this culture will be adopted by a couple of tools usage. So I can say like DevOps is an ecosystem. That means it has tools integrated. I mean, it is a framework. I can say like DevOps is a culture that is implemented by a collection or a set of tools implemented, I can say. So how many ways a project or a company or a product can implement the DevOps culture using the resources that you have in current market. You don't need to use any kind of cloud provider to set up the DevOps culture in your project. That means you don't need any VM in any cloud, you don't need any web app in any cloud, you don't need any kind of resource in any cloud. Being the old fashioned delivery of IT. If I'm talking about on-premise, basically using the on-premise resources also, you can implement DevOps culture. Using the resources in the AWS also, you can implement the DevOps culture. You can implement you can make use of the resources available in Azure or GCP or any leading cloud provider like IBM Cloud or VMware Cloud or say Salesforce Cloud, whatever the cloud. If you have the enough resources to be used, and if you have the capability of the resources that met with your requirements, you can make use of the cloud provider and implement the DevOps culture. But terms and conditions apply. So if you don't want to use any, if you don't want to make use of any cloud provider, and if you don't want to make use of any on-premises environment or on-premises resources, basically, not completely a set off. Still, you can implement the DevOps culture by using a service offered by Microsoft Azure. That service is called Azure DevOps Portal. And like we have the environments like on-premise environment and then cloud environment and hybrid environment, right? So obviously when you want to, maybe this slide is not familiar for most of the people, but I'll let you know the basic understanding about this one. So basically any software product will be developed, will be delivered from the designing state to operation state. So there are a couple of stages or there are a couple of environments to be set up defined by the software development lifecycle to meet the best product of the software. So then we have some stages called,
So based upon that,
sorry?
I would like to see and I'll look back and I'll try to increase the resources at the back end which are required.
Somebody speaking, can you go on mute if you are not intended to? Are you asking any question?
No,
I
sir.
think okay, thank you. Yeah, so for every software product that's getting designed or delivered or in use, will have a couple of stages to be used as part of its development, as part of its evolvement. Those are called development stages and QA stage, UAT stage, staging environment, pre-product environment, prod environment. And remember that for every project, it is not a strict rule that every project should have all these 6 or additional environments set up. It purely depends on the requirement of the project, and those can be finalized at the discussion and the design stage of the project. Basically, the reason why I'm discussing about all these different stages is, being a part of the DevOps team, you should have an idea of these kind of basic environmental funda to know better and to deliver better at the stage of the delivery, creating the pipelines for the continuous deployment or the pipelines for the continuous delivery. Basically, we are going to discuss more in depth in the coming classes, but that's fine for now. So obviously you are going to create the pipelines, or you are going to create the ecosystem for an application But the first thing, when you are going to be part of a project, the first thing you need to know, you are going to work in a DevOps team for an on-premises environment-based product, or for a virtual environment-based product, or a product that is hosted on the cloud, or a product that is hosted on the hybrid environment, or a product that is hosted on the container-based environment. The reason why I'm saying like on-premise environment, virtual, cloud, hybrid, container-based is we heard like the cloud is introduced to the world just before half of the decade. I mean, it is introduced before the decade, during the decade also, but I feel like we have to consider like half of the decade only. The reason is before the cloud is introduced, all the products are developed. I mean, all the products and software products like applications or websites or whatever. So, all the products are developed using on-premise environment. So, let me take a scenario. Before cloud is available for us to use, we were using. I mean, if you want to set up any websites, we were using either internet information services like web services in the Windows Azure, I mean web services in the Windows platform, or you can establish the web services using the Tomcat server, Apache Tomcat, right? Suppose your application, as on date also, the company's application or the company's product is not migrated to the cloud, but they wanted to implement the DevOps culture. So you can implement the DevOps culture for the same product, which is not using the any cloud resources as well, still on date. So first of all, when you want to be part of a DevOps team, the first character and the first parameter that you should know is you are going to work for the product, and that product is an on-premise product, or a virtual environment product, or a pure cloud-based product, or a hybrid product, or a container-based product. The reason why you need to know all these points is you need to develop your skills, you need to work, you need to enhance your skills according to this criteria. Like a DevOps project can be used, and I mean a DevOps culture can be implemented for administration project, automation project, and development project. So there are set of specifications, or there are set of parameters that you need to know about the project that you are going to work with respect to environment, with respect to kind of delivery, with respect to kind of expectation from you and expectation from the company, or the expectation from the product owner, or the expectation from the client. So for these basic understanding, I just wanted to discuss about these things. Okay, then what exactly are the responsibilities, or what exactly are the roles of a DevOps culture adopted project? Team management, project management, code management, build management, deploy management, test management, storage management. And now you can get a question like, without using the or without adopting the DevOps culture also, all these projects will, I mean, all the projects will have all these parameters, right? Then what is the necessity that is driving us to adopt the DevOps culture? Or what is the benefit that driving us to use the DevOps culture? Even though if you are a part of a project and that project is not adopted any DevOps culture, still you are able to deliver the product. Still you are able to meet the deadlines. Still the product is in good shape, and that is a major stakeholder, I mean major stake in the market. But what exactly and why exactly you need to learn, or you need to be aware of a project that should have adopted a DevOps culture? And all these parameters and all these stakeholders and all these considerations will be discussed in the coming sessions. That why do you need to force, or why do you need to, why are you getting forced to adopt DevOps culture, or why do you need to adopt the DevOps culture for a project that is consistently delivering the objectives without using the DevOps culture as well. And so this is like project management. When you adopt the DevOps culture, you are going to handle the project management using set of tools. Like if you're going to use Azure DevOps Portal, you're going to use the Azure boards basically. And if you're not going to use Azure DevOps, you're going to use the Jira boards basically. And team management. The team management can be handled by native solution based on the Azure DevOps, and the team management can be handled by integrating the Azure DevOps portal with Azure Active Directory to make use of the identity and the directory as a solution offered, or identity and management solution offered, access management basically. So code management, and all these parameters will be discussed in detail later basically, but I'm just letting you know. Code management. So when you talk about the code management, you have a couple of parameters to be considered, or you have a couple of parameters to be known. Like basically, code management means not only managing the developer code that is based on the Python, or that is based on the .NET, or that is based on the Java. Whatever the code that is used to deliver the resources or to develop the application of desired that need to be maintained, not only Java, .NET or Python. You are supposed to maintain any kind of code. The code can be of development code, the code can be of scripting code, the code can be of IAC, infrastructure as code. Okay, so we have multiple services or multiple solutions available in the market to meet this requirement basically. So like VSTS, Visual Studio Team Services, and GitHub, it's a product actually, and all these are different products available to meet the code management, and all these products have different kind of accessibility and different kind of what you can say, like they're providing different kind of features basically. So it is up to the project management team, and it is up to the technical team of the project to decide like which product of this to be used for code management, either Azure Repos or GitHub or VSTS, host3, whatever it is. And the next one is build management. We're going to discuss in detail in the coming classes. The build management basically discusses about the to implement the continuous integration for the product in a simple word. And the deployment and delivery management, like obviously when you're done with the development of the code, you are supposed to compile the code and you're supposed to create an executable form. It can be of any kind of extension basically, but it doesn't enough when you write the code and when you compile the code and when you create a solution, when you create the exe. It also matters and it is important, and it is incomplete it is incomplete without installing the exe or the executable form that is developed. So the delivery or the deployment mechanism of this objective of the product developed or the product compiled or the code compiled will be handled by the continuous delivery pipelines. Test management is like we can discuss in detail more. Like it's simple about the, I can say like to test the product that is developed on the functional background, on the technical background, on the integration background basically. Don't worry if you are not able to understand any of these slides at this point of time. Believe me, after 1 week, you should be able to understand at least the basic fund of these things. Artifact is like saving something or storing something that is developed or that is received after a couple of stages of execution. That's it. So as I told you, like who can use the Azure DevOps portal basically? The Azure DevOps portal can be used by development team, automation team, system administration team, database team, and BI administration team, and any middleware administration team. Not only middleware, any kind of team can be used if the Azure DevOps supports the respective extensions basically. That's it. So as I told, like we can implement DevOps for using on-premise, hybrid, and cloud. In the same way, you can use the DevOps. I mean, you can use the DevOps for these kind of administrations basically. On-premise administration, cloud, security, container, and so on. So as you know, like that, we are going to use Azure DevOps portal. But obviously, you should be having an idea, right? That what kind of roles or what kind of responsibilities of an Azure DevOps guy is going to be. So the basic classification is like if you know the Azure DevOps, you can be an Azure DevOps administrator, or you can be an Azure DevOps engineer, or you can be Azure DevOps architect. But if you know the first and second, then it is easy to become third. If you don't know any of first or two, first, second, you won't become Azure DevOps architect. I mean, I won't say like you won't become, but you won't be a best or good architect, basically. So, as part of this course, we are going to discuss about all these parameters like organization management, project management, and boards management, repo management, pipeline management, artifact management. And I'm going to discuss about some basics about the test management as well, which is up to recommended level only, not into the depth level. Like we're going to discuss about all these additional factors here. Okay, you told me like that you are going to use and you are going to learn like Azure DevOps organization management, project management, boards management, repo management, pipeline management, artifact management. But how exactly you are going to get practice? Simple. You are going to get practice in these areas by implementing this. By implementing the resources basically in the Azure cloud, and we are going to use Azure cloud and we are going to use Azure DevOps portal, both tools. So these are the different ways that you can resource, I mean that you can provision the resources in basically in Azure portal. Like using the portal you can, and using the PowerShell you can, using the ARM templates you can. So all these three ways will be introduced and executed during the batch. And that's up to the demo 2 that we discussed, and this is the now we are going to touch the objective of the day 1. And the reason why I discussed till now is as some people are lacking of this information, as this was present in the demo 2, I just wanted all of you to go through of it. Okay, and anyone want to take break before going to the agenda of day 1? Guys, okay, let me go through. So, what exactly is the difference between DevOps and Azure DevOps? Simple. DevOps is a culture that will be achieved by a set of practices, basically tools that combines the software development and IT operations. So, it doesn't mean like that DevOps. I mean, if you want to adopt the DevOps culture, or if you want to use DevOps culture in your project, you should have a software product developed. No, not at all. DevOps culture can be used by IT operations team alone, and DevOps culture can be used by software development team alone. but it is not at all recommended. That's it. The DevOps culture can be developed these two parameters separately, but it is not recommended. The reason why we are going to use DevOps culture is just to ensure the delivery of the product is as per the plan and accurate basically. So that's why industry is using DevOps culture for to deliver the software product in a better manner and in a better ability by implementing the collaboration or by implementing the coordination between software development team and operations team. What exactly is the benefit? Simple. The delivery process will be speed up in simple words, in layman words basically. But if you want to discuss about in detail and every parameter based and specification based, there are a lot to be discussed, and those will be discussed in the coming sessions. So, how exactly and what exactly happened in the background to the stage that we are using the Azure DevOps as of now? So, if somebody asks you like what exactly the history of the Azure DevOps, you can say like Azure DevOps is something new. I mean, it's not something new basically. It is a new shape of the old product like TFS, Team Foundation Server. And the Team Foundation Server got renamed to VSTS, Visual Studio Team Services. And then VSTS got renamed to VSTS Online, Visual Studio Team Services Online. And VSTS Online got renamed to Azure DevOps Services, basically Azure DevOps Portal. And before 2008, September 10th, Azure DevOps Services was called as VSTS Online, not Azure DevOps. From the date of like September 10th, 2018, we are calling like VSTS Online product as Azure DevOps Services. And how can you implement the DevOps culture using the Azure DevOps basically? As I told you, like you can implement Azure DevOps culture using two different ways. Either you can use the Azure DevOps portal like Azure DevOps Services, which is dev.azure.com. And if you don't want to get interact with any kind of cloud-based tools, or if you don't want to use any kind of services or resources based on the cloud or hybrid, then you can go for a standalone service that can be implemented using the Azure DevOps server. It is a server like SQL server or whatever the server, I mean DB server, any kind of web server, app server that you are going to use, any kind of server that is similar to this one. So you can implement the Azure DevOps culture by creating the Azure DevOps server in your on-premises environment. So, do anybody know about this? We call Azure as Windows Azure or Microsoft Azure. Not from when? I mean, I didn't mention the reason here, but someone can explain the situation. Someone can explain the reason behind this one, please.
See,
I'm giving you for 2 minutes.
okay.
Yeah, please.
So coming to the Azure in the sense, it's a, set of physical data centers. Okay. So that is the reason we called as a Microsoft Azure. The Azure cloud platform will be provided by the Microsoft company. And coming to the Windows Azure means Windows is the on-premise servers. So where we can implement this Azure technology in this Windows servers, as per my understanding.
Sorry,
Yeah,
it's not the right.
uh,
Any
this
other
is
cases, please?
when Azure introduced it, it was only supported Windows platform actually. That's why they implemented as Windows Azure. Later they improved and they supported other OS platforms also. So later they renamed as Microsoft Azure.
Is it? Okay, next.
Yeah, Microsoft Azure is a cloud platform. Windows Azure is the on-premise. And Azure we called as a set of physical data centers. What are the resources we have created under Azure portal? Those resources information will be stored into the Azure data centers.
Okay, any other opinions, please? I mean, if you are not being interactive, the session won't be useful or the session won't be helpful for you. You should be interactive. Okay, let me conclude the answer then. The reason is, I mean, in market, we have like many cloud providers. And before evolving the Azure also, we have some cloud providers like AWS, right? So the Microsoft roadmap is like, okay, first let me the Windows based resources, whatever available in the market, let me deliver them through online. So the term that we use or refer Windows Azure means like till the term Microsoft used to deliver the services or deliver the resources of Windows category or the Windows family only through portal.azure.com. Or I mean, earlier the URL of the Azure is not like portal.azure.com. It is like management.azure.com basically. It was service.azure.com. That was the URL of the earlier portal of the Azure. So till some point of time, Microsoft was providing the services of Windows family or the resources of the Windows family through online for only Windows. That's why till that point of time, we call Azure as the Windows Azure. When Microsoft started providing the services or the resources for not only Windows like Linux or Mac or any other, from that moment of time, we are calling Azure as Microsoft Azure basically. Okay. Like still Azure can deliver the or Azure can store the resources in the data center that you mentioned or that you requested, and that service is also part provided by Azure, and that service is called as Azure Stack basically. So if somebody asks you why are you calling Azure as Windows Azure or Microsoft Azure, the simple reason is till the time that Azure was called as Windows Azure, Azure was providing the services or the resources of Windows family only. From the moment Microsoft started delivering the resources for other than the Windows also, Azure is being called as Microsoft Azure. Hope I'm clear. Thanks for the inputs, guys.
Yes.
Okay. So from when we are calling Azure as Microsoft Azure? April 3rd, 2014. That's it. And these two informations that you are recommended to remember always. Like from when you are calling VSTS Online as Azure DevOps Services, and from when you are calling Azure as Microsoft Azure instead of Windows Azure. Recommended to remember, but in future or in current day, somebody might ask or somebody might not ask, but recommended to remember the history of the product that you are going to use. Okay then, what exactly is the difference between Azure and Azure DevOps? Simple. Azure is like a cloud only, and it is provided by a cloud vendor called Microsoft. That's it. And when you talk about Azure, we have couple of services offered in a different way basically. So when you talk about the not only Azure, when you talk about the clouds are of three categories: public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Okay. So how do you know which cloud is public? How do you know which cloud is private? And how do you know which cloud is hybrid? When you're talking about Azure itself, the cloud that is implemented or provided by Azure and that is available rest of the world other than Germany, other than the China, and other than specially created for the US government. That's called public cloud. The cloud that is specially created for China, the cloud that is specially created for Germany, the cloud that is specially created for US government can be called as private clouds. That doesn't mean like these three are the only private clouds. The private cloud term refers like if some cloud provider, if you go to some cloud provider and ask them to build a cloud solution for you, and it is not accessible for any of the members who are not supposed to access, who are not designed to be accessed, that cloud solution can be called as private cloud. So if you want to try to be part of, or if you want to try to create an account in any cloud, like the cloud environment created by Microsoft for the US government, or the cloud environment that is created for the Germany or for the China, you won't be able to even access those. Even if you access, you cannot create any accounts there. And the reason why you cannot create or you should not create is those clouds are comes under the jurisdiction of the respective geographical area. You can use public cloud anywhere in the world except these three places. And you cannot use these three different clouds, these three different private clouds anywhere in the world. You should not, basically. As per the information I received from somebody else, it will be an offensive action as well. I'm not sure. I received the information. It will be an offensive action as well. So it is not recommended to use, or it is not recommended to create an account in the private clouds. Hope I'm clear about the difference between the public cloud and private cloud. Okay then, what exactly is Azure DevOps? Like you can create the VMs in the Azure, you can create the web apps in the Azure, you can create the function apps, logic apps, mobile apps, anything in Azure. In the similar way, Azure DevOps is also a service only. That's it. A resource only. That's it. Similar to VM, similar to web app, similar to function app, similar to logic app, similar to mobile app, or any service, or any resource that's part of the Microsoft Cloud Azure. Azure DevOps is also a similar service only. But the thing, why you are calling, why you are separating, or why you are learning Azure DevOps as a different service and Azure is a different part. The reason is simple. If you want to create a VM, you need some credits available, or you need some subscription available in Azure. But if you want to create an account in Azure DevOps, you don't need it all. You just need a simple mail address. That's it. The mail address can be your personal use, or the mail address can be your office one. If you want to create an account in Azure, you can create using your personal account, your office account. If you want to create an account in Azure DevOps, you can create using your personal account or office account. But to create the resources in Azure, you need a subscription. But to create the resources in Azure DevOps portal, you don't need any subscription. It's completely lifetime free. As of now, the terms and conditions may change by Microsoft in the future. But as of now, Azure DevOps is a free service. Azure is also free service. But you need to have a subscription to create some set of resources. And some set of resources you can directly create without even having a subscription also. So when you have the idea like difference between Azure and Azure DevOps, if somebody asks you like Azure DevOps is a kind of which service, kind of which as a service basically. It is a platform as a service or a software as a service. Okay, let us park this question aside. The reason is, before we are going to commit, or before you are going to confirm, or before you are going to get clarity on whether Azure DevOps service is a PaaS or a SaaS, you need to know something better actually. That is called deployment models. Like the clouds we have, like public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud. In the same way, we have deployment models in each of the cloud basically. Basically, I can say like not each of the cloud, common to the all clouds. The deployment models can be defined as IaaS, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. These are common to any cloud. Other than this, we have something like for Azure, IDaaS, identity and directory management as a service, data as a service, CIAS, security as a service. So, I mean, as a service models basically, all the as a service models can be called as deployment models. But when you asking me about particularly like what are the common deployment models for all the clouds, you can say like there are 3 common deployment models common for all the clouds, like infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. These as a service are called as deployment models, and it is most recommended, and it is most an important specification that a person who wants to give an interview on the Azure or who wants to give an interview on the cloud should be able to understand the terminology. So if somebody asks you what do you call IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, the simple answer can be like deployment models. Okay. In the coming classes, we are going to discuss about what exactly is what are the parameters that you need to consider when you want to say a product is a platform as a service, or when you want to say a product is a software as a service. We are going to discuss about those in detail in coming classes. Then you can come up with your opinion like Azure DevOps is a platform as a service or Azure DevOps is a software as a service. And don't believe that whatever you are getting in the Googling. Like if you say like Azure DevOps is which kind of service, in Google you might software as a service, or in Google you might get platform as a service, but don't believe that. Develop your capabilities to judge something and be confident that you can defend the discussion and confirm the abilities. So what exactly this feature is about? This feature is about, forget the comments like developer and tester. Remember this picture. By middle of the sessions, you'll be able to understand the importance of this one. Okay, as we roll like Azure DevOps is also a service in the Azure itself. How can you create an Azure account or how can you create an organization in Azure DevOps? 2 ways. You can directly create an account in Azure DevOps portal directly by going to the dev.azure.com, or if you create an Azure portal, and there also you can create Azure DevOps organization basically. But what exactly is the difference that you are going to get in the first session and the second session basically? We are going to discuss about these 2 ways of creation in the coming classes, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So as I told you, like what are the types of users that you're going to have in Azure DevOps basically? So you're going to have a project user, you're going to have a project administrator, you're going to have an organization administrator. Basically, these organization administrators can be called as project collection level administrator. Project administration is different. Project collection level administration is different. And the fourth role is organization owner, basically. So what exactly is the difference between all these four different kind of roles? We're going to get discussed in the coming classes. I'm just briefing you the content here. That's it. Okay. So obviously, when you want to use or when you want to create any kind of resource in Azure portal, you should have a service called subscription enabled. The subscriptions can be free trial, pay as you go development, or development based, or operations, or Azure operations, or CSV based, or enterprise agreement, or any other customized category of the subscription. In the same way, when you want to use Azure DevOps, you are supposed to have a license. And don't worry, when you create the Azure DevOps as a free service, you are going to get a limited number of licenses available for you, and which are valid for your entire lifetime. You don't need to pay anything for this. So basically we have kind of 4 licenses that we have that Microsoft offering to have an account or to have a user account and to have a license assigned for the Azure DevOps user, basically. So those are like basic license, stakeholder license, VSPS license, VSES license, Visual Studio Professional subscription, Visual Studio Enterprise subscription, basically. So what exactly is the difference between all these 4 licenses? We are going to cover also about these in the coming classes. That's the end of the slide for today. Any questions, guys?
Sir, myself Suresh. Sir, actually in the Azure portal, I can able to see only for 2 subscriptions. One is for basic, another one is for basic plus test plans. This is for Azure DevOps. So, but
Yeah.
you mentioned we have a basic and stakeholder. So these subscription comes under this category, or this will be different one?
No, there is a specific reason why I didn't mention the basic plus test plans, basically.
Okay.
Okay. Basic plus test plans license is also there, but there is a specific reason, basically. I'll let you know the reason in the coming classes.
Okay.
So I can say, like, I mean, basically it is 5 licenses, but the reason why I mentioned only 4 is different.
Okay.
But in the Azure DevOps, you have 5 licenses.
Okay.
And when you talk specially for Azure DevOps, you can say only 3 licenses. Like basic, stakeholder, and basic plus test plans. I'll let you know the reasons later. Okay.
Hi, this is Junior.
Yeah. Any questions, please?
Yes, I just want to know if you are sharing the video after the
Sorry to say, I cannot hear your voice completely. Maybe it's an audio problem from your side.
I'm asking if are you going to share the video after every classes with us?
That can be commented by the administration team of the Visual Studio. Visual Path. I think they will share the videos. You can check with the admin team, please.
Sir, most of the people I hear this information. Okay, if you want to switch your career with DevOps engineer, is it Azure DevOps, AWS, or whatever it may be, you need some experience on development side also. Is it necessary?
No, not at all. For a beginner, it is not at all recommended to have. It is not at all requested or recommended to have any kind of development experience.
Okay.
But the person should have the understanding of the development team. You don't need to code, but at least you should have an idea how exactly a development team works. If you don't have an idea, that is fine. But if you have, if you have an idea, that will boost your understanding about the DevOps. but if you don't have an idea, but it is recommended to have that idea. You should have at least understanding about the how exactly the development teams are going to work to excel yourself as a DevOps team member.
Okay. Sir, one more question
And
is,
it is not at all recommended that you have to you need at least an experience or you need at least the understanding about the coding. It's not recommended. You don't need to have the code understanding about the code because
okay.
once you start the journey as a DevOps engineer, obviously you are going to learn. That's it.
Sir, one more thing is, as you mentioned, in Azure DevOps, we have 3 roles. One is for Azure DevOps Administrator, another one is Azure DevOps Engineer, third one is the Azure DevOps Architect. So
Yeah.
in these classes, will you cover Azure DevOps Administrator plus Azure DevOps Engineer, or in this all these classes we cover only Azure Administrator, sorry, Azure DevOps Engineer only?
This session is specially designed, and I cannot say like this is specially designed. The simple terminology, the underlying truth about this session is, I mean, when I can say like if you want to configure the project, or if you want to manage the project, or if you want to manage the team in the Azure DevOps, you are set to be an Azure DevOps administrator. And when
Okay.
you want to build and when you want to implement the strategies that is part of a DevOps team and that is part of a DevOps culture, you are set to be an Azure DevOps engineer. The strategies can be related to build, the strategies can be related to code management, the strategies can be related to project management, team management, or delivery management, or deployment management, or artifact management, or test management, or any kind of strategy that you want to implement to deliver the product to deliver the product based on the DevOps culture. You are set to be an Azure DevOps engineer. Azure DevOps administration responsibility is to just ensure that you are having an idea of how to implement access control mechanism. That's it.
And that DevOps Administrator not responsible for maintaining the code and project and everything, only for access only.
The bitter truth or the hard truth is like that. If you know the Azure DevOps engineer roles and responsibilities, you will be knowing the Azure DevOps administration responsibilities as well. But if you want to get a job on the basis of the Azure DevOps administration only, definitely you are not going to get a job.
Yes.
Maybe you can say like if you have the Azure DevOps administration experience, you can say like you will be treated like you have only basic understanding of the Azure DevOps basically.
Okay.
But if you have the capabilities and if you have the knowledge or skill related to Azure DevOps engineer, then you are going to get a job for sure in the current market.
Yeah.
In the future
And
also, if you are limited yourself to be part of Azure DevOps administrator, you are not going to get a job for sure. But
okay.
if you are Azure DevOps engineer, it is recommended. I mean, obviously, you're going to have the knowledge of the Azure DevOps administration. That's basic.
Sir, one more question, don't mind. So actually,
Yeah.
in the you're telling to me, so as per previous conversation, okay, the DevOps is a culture, and we need to use the set of tools. So will you cover
Exactly.
all these DevOps tools, or will you cover only few of the tools? So like we have multiple tools like Git,
No,
Maven,
not
Jenkins.
at all. I'm not going to cover. I'm not going to cover the tools which are not related to Azure DevOps. Basically, if you ask me for Ansible, okay, or for Puppet, or for Chef, or for Terraform, or only on
Yeah.
templates, or Bicep, or Jenkins, or Octopus, or Helm charts, and all these tools should have at least 1 month time to get the basic understanding of each and every tools. Like for Ansible 1 month, for Chef 1 month, for Puppet 1 month, for Jenkins 1 month. So I don't think so. The people will be have time to spend these things. And this class is purely designed for Azure DevOps portal only. That means we are going to discuss about Azure boards, Azure repos, Azure pipelines, Azure artifacts, Azure test plans. Apart from this, we're going to discuss about PowerShell and TARM templates in Azure portal. That's it. We are not going to discuss about any other open source tools which can be treated or named as Chef, Puppet, Ansible, Terraform at this point of time. And those services and those tools are being offered by the institute as a separate course.
Thanks.
Yeah. You can check with the institute team for better understanding on those, please. Azure Container as a Service. Basically, that's called as ACR, Azure Container Registries, and that's a part of Azure Administration Content. And if you want to use Azure Container as a Service or Azure Container Registry, you need to be part of the Azure Administration course for basic understanding. But if you want to get more understanding of, if you want to get more knowledge about the same, you are recommended to go for Docker and Kubernetes course. The institute will take care about the content. They will share.
Sir, can I get the index brochure of the topics you are covering, sir? On here.
Sorry, can you come again?
Can I get the index PDF of the about the topics, details of the topics you're covering in this course, sir? So do we need to check with
Yeah,
administration?
you can check with the institution team, please.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Hello, Marikanta. This is Nasima. I have one query. While doing practice in our my computer labs, in case we have any doubts, so how will you contact?
You don't need to worry. I'll be sharing an email after the 1 or 2 weeks classes. Then you can reach out to me about serious scenarios. We can discuss about this.
Okay, so only you only providing the solution for the any doubts. So there is no lab instructions not there, right?
I mean, I can say simple thing. If you go through the documentation of the Azure DevOps that is provided by Microsoft in the docs.microsoft.com, obviously you don't need anybody guidance basically.
Okay.
Not even my guidance also. If you know the basic understanding, if you go through the documentation, you are good enough to go get the job. Terms and conditions apply because it depends on your practice.
And how about projects? How many projects will be covered? Sample projects.
I'm going to, I mean, as part of these batches, this batch, I'm going to create 3 projects basically. One for the .NET and one for the, I mean, 2 for the .NET based projects, application delivery projects, and one for the infrastructure based basically.
Yeah. And also one more dot. It will cover interview questions. So because I have
Obviously,
around. Uh,
obviously. I hope you have seen in my PPT itself today. You have seen couple of questions basically. I think so. I mean, if you want exclusive questions, we can take a session on the same. No worries. But after the sessions, you need to practice to understand the depth of the questions that I'm going to ask or that I'm going to prepare in the PPT.
Sir, actually I came to know that, so to understand actually I'm working as a tester actually. I don't have any basic knowledge on this Azure. So what is it? So where it starts, where it ends, also I don't know. To get the basic understanding, can you suggest any website? Or you told something Azure.com. What is it?
Simple logic. Go through the docs.microsoft.com.
Okay.
Okay. And go through the Microsoft Azure, YouTube channel at least. Or you can go through the Visual Path YouTube channel. They also will get understanding. We have good videos about the basic understandings basically.
Okay.
And if you want to know the channel details and everything, you can reach out to the Visual Path team.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. I think you have a own YouTube channel. Can I share the link in the group?
Suresh, it's not the right time to discuss about this. Please. And I'll be sharing that, but it's not the right time. Okay?
Sir, the docs.microsoft.com, right? Docs.azure.com.
You can directly type in the Google like Microsoft Azure DevOps documentation. You will be leading it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Manikanta, while discussing CI/CD, continuous
Yeah,
integration, continuous development, I mean, as you said, we will be
it's
discussing.
not continuous development, it's continuous deployment or delivery.
Yeah, without tools, I mean, how can we discuss on the topic like Kubernetes, Jenkins in this course actually?
Jenkins is a open source. To get the
Yeah,
same benefits or to get the same services offered by Jenkins, we have a service part of this Azure DevOps ecosystem, and that is called as Azure Pipelines. The similar responsibilities, the similar roles, the naming might be different. I mean, there are little bit differences also. I don't say like completely similar, but you can do whatever you can do. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do with Jenkins. You can do with Azure Pipelines. I mean, if you know Jenkins, you don't need. I mean, if you know only Jenkins, you are not a DevOps engineer. If you know the Azure pipelines, you are a DevOps engineer. Don't worry. And other thing is like that, the companies which are using Microsoft products are the companies which are providing services based on the Microsoft products, are providing services for the Microsoft products, are going to acquire, are going to use Azure DevOps only. Unless until it is not recommended or not defined by the design level of the project. I mean, I hope you can see the market share of the Azure DevOps in the current industry right now at this point of time. I can say. I mean, Jenkins is an optional when I talk about. To be more clear and to be more honest, till now I didn't get even a chance, or I didn't get even a requirement to know about Jenkins basically. And from last 4 years, I'm working on Azure DevOps.
Sir, basically at the time of interview, they will ask you Jenkins also. That is the reason we just asked for Jenkins to be covered.
That is fine. That is fine. But you can go through the job description before you attend the interview, right? I mean, I'm not at all denying to don't learn, I'm not at all saying that you don't learn Jenkins. Jenkins will be an advantage, but the same responsibilities or the roles or the services being offered by Jenkins can be achieved, can be implemented, can be offered by Azure Pipelines. You all need to know the thought process. You all need to know the method of implementation, the method of accessibility, the method of security, the method of achieving. That's it. It doesn't matter which tool you're going to use, either Jenkins or pipelines or Octopus or any other you have. It is all depends on you how you're going to develop thought process of achieving something to deliver in the fashion of CI and CD. That's it. Like if you know the Azure cloud, you
for
are
every
obviously good to know about AWS, right? Nothing difference basically. So it depends. The first thing when you want to learn any new course, the first capability or the caliber that you are going to get or you should have is that yes, I am going to get develop my thought process. Yeah, please next question. But my
actually,
recommendation is always like 1 minute funny. Yeah, my recommendation is always like don't run behind the course, run behind the thought process. So obviously, any course will be easy to learn. Yeah,
okay.
sorry, he's gone.
Sir, upon here, I got some information. Actually, my friend is working on AWS, and a few of them are working on Azure. So what I got information is the Azure has less demand, and the only few companies are using in a market. And in future, those also will switch to AWS. So this doubt I have whether is it a true
Okay,
or false.
I can clarify. I mean, I can clarify your doubt, Pawan. Basically, don't worry. So How many experience you have? Yeah.
I have
I mean,
10
how many
years.
years?
10 years.
10 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Out of these 10 years,
Yeah.
you are using only Microsoft Office or any other offices,
MS Office. So I have
right?
no Microsoft Office only I've been using. Means
Yeah.
I don't, we need very
Yeah.
less on documentation, Excel, very less part of,
Okay, that's fine.
I'm working
Leave
on
it, leave it.
automation. Yeah.
That's fine. Leave it.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you working on any server administration?
No. I'm an automation tester, actually, Selenium.
Okay. So you have developed the test scenarios for any languages based on the which, I mean, obviously the code that is developed will be for a specific operating system, right?
Yes.
So for which operating system you developed? Open source or
Windows.
Windows?
Windows only.
There is answer. As long as applications are getting developed for Windows family, you are going
Okay.
to acquire the cloud of the Windows category. The reason why you are going to get the cloud of Windows category is if you want to create a VM with the Windows OS on the AWS is costlier than the Windows VM that you are going to create on Azure.
Okay.
You can compare the values by using the cost calculators in the AWS cloud and Azure cloud.
No.
And if you
Thank you.
observe the top 10 companies or the top 100 out of the top 100 companies, at least like 40 to 50 companies are using Microsoft products. Maybe 60 companies are using open source products. But objective of the development is, I mean, application is going to be developed for which OS?
Obviously, Windows, Microsoft.
The other share is Android, right? And Mac.
Yeah. Got it, sir. Okay. Thanks
And
for the
it
clarification.
might be overwritten in the future, like the Windows might be overtaken by Linux OS share. But still, that is why with the preview of the same, the Windows Cloud became Microsoft Cloud, so that Microsoft will be able to support other than the Windows family OSs as well.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, you're welcome. And I still say like, don't believe me my words. You can go through the rankings details in the LinkedIn or the Google or any kind of open source auditing firms or any kind of open source quizzing firms. I mean, you'll be having couple of metrics released on every month or every quarter or every year for the for the top cloud acquisition in the market. And you can refer the revenue that's being generated for each and every cloud. Don't believe me my words. Believe the results in the market. That's it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Guys, we have some more time limited. I mean, available. You can have
Yes.
any question.
For this course, how much knowledge will be gained? Means how much experience I can put as a Azure DevOps engineer.
After these 2 months of classes, either 45 days or 60 days of classes, you are good to put at least 2 years experience or at least 1.5 years experience for Azure DevOps in your resume. And that too, obviously, like terms and conditions. You need to practice. That's it.
Yeah, because I have around 10 years of experience in IT.
That's fine. The Azure DevOps is introduced to the market just before 4 years.
Mm-hmm. See,
Even
what
I
about
also have 10 years experience. I mean, I can say I also have 10 years experience, but I do have only 4 years of experience in the Azure DevOps basically. And I have I have my team members like who have 1 year experience in Azure DevOps and have 8 years experience in total.
yeah?
So it doesn't matter actually. Then you have the technical
Yeah,
capability of the things that can be
got
delivered.
it. Yeah, got it for this experience. And what about salaries? See, as of now, I'm getting monthly around 50K per 50K. If I put 2 years of experience in Microsoft Azure, how much salary I will get?
I can say like there is in the market there is a standard like till 2018 2 lakhs per year basically experience. Now it is 3.5 to 4 lakh per year for experience, and this number may vary according to your expertise, according to your skill set, according to your domain. In that way you can calculate. And finally, I can say like it purely depends on the capability of the candidate. That's it. I can say one of my experience like one of my known person have 4 years experience, and he do have experience on the like service now for 1 year, and he's back before learning his before he's going to before he learned service now his package was like 3.5 lakh per year. Now his package is like 14 lakh per year. And I'm not letting you know, and I'm not letting you go to learn service now. I'm just letting you know the capability and letting you know the demand that market have. In the similar way, if you go to the LinkedIn jobs and try to search the real with Azure jobs, you're good to learn the stats there. So it always depends how much capable you are. That's it.
Okay.
Mani, what is the reason we are very less Azure DevOps engineer in market compared to AWS DevOps and other DevOps engineer? Azure DevOps engineer are very less, and they are still searching for the DevOps engineers.
Is it?
I
You
mean,
can
Azure
refer with
DevOps.
those. You
Yeah,
can refer with those guys who are looking for the Azure DevOps opportunities. I can refer them in my company. No worries.
no, no, I'm saying candidates are not very available in market. Azure DevOps
Candidates are not available or available?
candidates are not available. We are not getting
No,
so many
sorry.
for us only. But any specific reason behind that?
The industry adoption is very less basically. As I told you, like Azure DevOps is available in the market from last 4 years itself, but the industry acquisition is very less. And if you see the stats from last 6 months, the requirement of the Azure DevOps is getting day by day more and more and more. And by 2024 by end of the 2024, we are going to get or we are going to have at least like open positions. Per month, 1,000 like I heard. I'm not sure about the number. I heard. So it depends. But the always recommendation is learn the Azure DevOps and be ready for the market to get heated by you. That's it. Or the market will wait for you if you know the skill. Will run behind you.
One doubt money regarding this one. Actually, you told me that we have the two things. One is cloud thing and one is the Azure, DevOps thing. Without anything is fine money. Without knowing the cloud thing like IaaS.
Can you come again, please? I didn't get you completely.
Yeah, actually, as per our discussion, IaaS is different and the DevOps is different, right? Both are different things.
No, not at all. I can say like infrastructure is quite different than DevOps. I can say I do agree.
Yes.
To deliver the best version of the IAC, you need the DevOps.
Okay, if suppose I am searching into jobs is DevOps, is it also fine, fine Manikanta, or otherwise we need to learn IaaS also is required?
Are you talking about IAC, infrastructure as code?
Yes, I mean a cloud formation, right? Creating the virtual machines and we private.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that comes under IAC basically. Yeah, I mean IAC also good. If you know DevOps with implementation of the IAC, DevOps for implementation of the IAC, that will be more good.
Yeah, if you are going with the DevOps also, are we able to find the so many jobs?
Obviously,
Oh,
an IAC developer, my feeling like is an IAC developer. I mean, the person who is working on the infrastructure as code developer should learn DevOps. The reason is market is using DevOps, market is using IAC. To implement the IAC, market is using DevOps basically.
yeah, if it is advantage, if we are, I mean, presently we don't have knowledge also, no problem. In the DevOps, also, we have so many openings, right? You were saying like that.
Obviously, IAC is also going to have more openings. The day by day, creating the virtual machine on in hand and in portal and manually is not going to be a practice for long basically. Nowadays also in most of the companies, any resource creation is not going by hand in hand. It's going by a script that's going by following a IAC methodology only. Okay guys, we're done for the day. Any questions? More?
One last question, Prof.
Yeah.
Is this Azure DevOps automation for development side and admin side?
Which automation you're talking about? Please.
Is like so DevOps means automation, right? Automation the process, right? It
No,
under
not at all.
goes under
DevOps means not at all automation of the process. DevOps means delivery, speeding up the delivery only. It's not by only automation.
okay.
It's
But
building by strategy.
yeah, but as per my knowledge, there are two processes. One is development side, one is admin side. Like admin means in cloud environment, the admin will be create users like that, right?
Yeah, they can.
So for this course, which topics will be covered? Cloud
We are going
environment
to talk about ARM templates and PowerShell.
means only .NET and related Java uh, delivery process.
I mean, I'm going to take a demo of two projects basically to deliver the code changes of the .NET platform using the DevOps culture. Basically, I'm going to create the resources in Azure portal by executing the IAC code, and this IAC code will provision the environment that is required to host a .NET application.
Okay. And what about scripting knowledge? How much scripting knowledge is required?
Scripting knowledge.
Yeah, it's like other DevOps means if it is AWS DevOps means required shell scripting or Python like that. For this course, which script is required?
PowerShell.
PowerShell.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you know the IAC coding, that will be an added advantage basically.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. If any questions, we can connect tomorrow early and discuss. And from tomorrow, the sessions are going to start discussing around 7:30 itself, not by list.
Sure, Mani.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Bye. Have a good day.
Thank you all.